Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91 in collaboration with This Marriage UK. We are giving you guys a lovely live today. We're talking about heartbreak. Yes, if you were tuned in, I think was it earlier this week or last week?
Wednesday.
Okay, great, fantastic. So Wednesday, we had a conversation around. Oh my gosh, it feels like the week has gone past me. We had a conversation. It wasn't about heartbreak. It was about something else. What was we talking about on Wednesday?
Shame. It was just Wednesday.
I know. See, my brain then gone. This is why the women don't trust us, bro.
Oh wow.
You can't remember, do you?
No, I can't remember.
This is why you have wives. Okay, so we had a conversation on Wednesday, really good conversation, which we can't remember suddenly. But we decided to do another conversation this Sunday, branching on from that, which we're going to be talking about heartbreak from a male's perspective. So Mr. Curtis here, he decided to gather some of the Avengers to come and discuss some of those heartbreaks and hopefully inspire some of you not to be afraid of love, but also as well to help those who've gone through, similar circumstances as well, not to stay there. You know what I mean? Don't die in that pain that you're feeling right now. Okay, we've all been there. You know what I'm saying? So we want to just have a little bit of conversation. But let me pass the baton over to This Marriage UK. You introduce yourself, introduce your brand, and tell us a little something. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, let's go. So it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. I'm Curtis from This Is Marriage UK. It's a UK platform dedicated to help people navigate their journey of relationships. We've been doing that about 6-7 years now, and it's getting deeper every week. And we have those discussions on our channel. We've been doing it for, like I said, about 6-7 years. Not intensely, but whatever we do have on there is real deep, real intense. We collaborate regularly with Kojo. We started back as of recently because we just got too much to say and it just can't be kept to ourselves. Normally I'm here with my wife, Juanita, but she's chilling because a lot of the time she's the part of the platform that you don't see. And she's the reason why I'm wearing this decent t-shirt and shaved, because without her, I'd be looking half the man I am. Do you know what I'm saying? And, sorting the kids out and stuff. But hats off to my wife. You know what I'm saying? We've got Benga coming on as well, Pastor G.
Yep.
Brother-in-law, who, you're going to know who he is in a second, guys. So welcome to everyone. And this is part 2 of a discussion where I'm trying to work out what we were talking about on Wednesday.
I can't for the life of me remember. It's because we were just having a discussion about what I did. That's what it was.
It was you. It was interviewing Kojo, right?
Yeah. Well, I thought we forgot.
This is it. Shame. It's a shame on all of us, man. But really, what happened, guys, was we got into the topic of we asked Kojo some questions, and it became real intense with
It was intense, bro.
Looking at heartbreak. Jai, oh man, this is an overall healing room, but today's topic is for men. Yeah. I guess. Do you have many men on your platform? Do you know?
It's not much as ladies. I think it's like 15%.
This is it. This is it.
No way, that 15%. If you're there, you're strong. Come on, we got you.
This is it. And the men that are there, they're there to learn. There must be. What do you think of introducing emotional education in the UK schools? Depends who's teaching it, right?
Yeah, well,
depends who's teaching it.
That's a whole topic in itself. And how we.
But yes. And the thing is, Benga's coming on in a moment. Let's see what he's saying.
I see him. So he's there.
He's there? Lovely. Don't want to go too far without the brother, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand, bro. I guess obviously maybe, obviously one question we can ask, obviously first and foremost, obviously before even Benga gets on, is what is your definition of heartbreak?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Right.
We'll throw that quick one there for you kids.
The definition of heartbreak is when you're curled up in a corner doing nothing with yourself. Another definition of heartbreak is when you're looking out the window thinking you saw your ex.
Bro, when you see someone else here and you think it's them, So your heart goes, do-do-do. Or if you're just walking up on the street and you think it's them and your heart does, do-do-do-do. Bro, it's wild. It's wild when it gets you like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. The heart palpitations.
Palpitations.
Mm-hmm.
Random palpitations.
Yeah. I get the butterflies in the stomach. I get that in the stomach, yeah. I get the butterflies in the stomach. Like when I think about, I just lost somebody. Oh, butterflies hit.
I think you feel lost.
Yeah. Especially if you've been with them for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel lost, definitely. But you know, it's interesting. And I'm trying to wait for G to come. Is he there? You said he's there.
He's there. I've asked him if he's ready. I don't want to put him on. He's not ready. You know what I mean? Let me put on. Maybe he's ready. Maybe he's ready. Pastor, are you there?
Hey, I'm here, man.
Oh, you're there? Oh, okay, he is there. Okay.
Hey.
I'm there, guys.
We don't want to throw you in too early, just in case you weren't ready.
Hey, I'm good, brother, man. I just want to make sure that all my things are clicking in, man. Good to see you guys, man.
It's good to see you too, man. Good to see you too. Nice bright and yellow.
Oh man, I just finished service, man.
You feel that anointing, then you ready to talk about heartbreak?
Jesus heals the brokenhearted, man. That's it.
I can tell you're ready, sir.
Well, good to see you guys, man. Thank you so much, brothers, man.
No, man, it's a blessing to have you on again, man. It's good.
Oh man,
bro, listen. I mean, it's only fair if you just want to introduce yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My name is Benga, also known as PG. My Instagram handle is Pglondon. I'm married to one wife. I got 3 sons and 1 dog and 1 rabbit. And I'm a preacher. I'm a pastor. I'm a humanitarian. I'm just that guy. That's it, man. I still have dreams of playing basketball, NBA level, but I think I'm getting older, a little bit old now, and the body doesn't work the way it used to. But we've also met myself and my wife have written books on relationships. This week we've been married for 14 years this week. We've been together for 20 years, about 20 years. So yeah, that's my CV, man. That's my resume.
I mean, I'll say this is one of the most down to earth guys you will meet in the game. And we're going to talk.
Thank you. It's a blessing to be with you guys, man. And Kurt's my brother-in-law. And Kojo's my brother, man. That's where we at.
We out here, baby. I'm with you guys. But I was just saying that I was asking the question: what is our definitions of heartbreak? So I was just asking what your definition of heartbreak is, Pastor.
Heartbreak, my goodness.
G, by the way, G, you have music playing in the background.
Yeah, do you know what, man? The service was still going on, man. I've got an old studio here, man. I've got everything. There we go. Hey, I'm also the production manager, man. I forgot the stuff was still on. I can't hear it, but everyone else can hear it.
Oh, right. Capital FM going on, man.
No.
There we go. What's a heartbreak, man? Heartbreak. I mean, I think it's hard to define, but it's something that a person experiences when the love of their life. Heartbreak can happen in so many different ways. Someone can just text you and say it's over. Someone might lose a loved one. So there's so much things when it comes to relationships that people can experience a heartbreak. It's basically the ending of a relationship. Let's call it that. The ending of a relationship. And one thing I'd love to get into later is to kind of compare it with grief and how people deal with loss and grief and how they also deal with heartbreak as well. But we get into that later. So basically it's an ending of a relationship because your dreams, your hopes are in that relationship. Now it's come to an ending, and now you feel a heart that's broken. It's a heaviness, almost like something being torn out of you. You were in one trajectory, you were in one direction, but now someone's giving you a detour. And now it's like, I didn't expect this. In essence, so you were playing a game. Let's call it a game. And somebody changed the rules midway through the game that you weren't ready for. And literally it leaves your heart broken. Because all your dreams, all your aspirations, all your energy, your finances, even your body might be invested into that relationship. Now it's come to an end, and now you feel lost. And you feel a sense of grief.
Yeah.
In fact, it's like you say, they change the rules of the game. They win, you lose, or probably feel like you're in debt. It's greater than loss. And they walk away and leave you stranded. All of that.
Man, all of that. Horrible, man. And we've all been there, right? I mean, I've been married for 14 years, but we've been there before. Bro. So I'm here to talk tonight. This is like counseling. This is therapy session for me. I'm here to talk about all my ex-girlfriends who broke my heart. How about that?
Give it to them, bro.
Can I name them afterwards later?
Names on it. just pop it in the chat. Let them know.
I want to name it. I want to put them on blast, man. I want to shame the devil right there.
Oh man!
I mean, any man who gets heartbroken that often, you deserved it,
man. It's been, look, as a child who came from Africa, yeah, I fell in love with girls in school, and people would break my heart. You know, in school, like you date for a day or so. You know, like in school, man. Like relationship lasts about 2 days. If a relationship lasts for longer than a week when you're in school, you might as well get married. All right. So I come from Africa, and a lot of girls would break my heart. You know, they'll talk about my accent, the fact that, you know, I had jacked up shoes and jacked up trousers, didn't have an haircut. I used to get a haircut once every year when I was in primary school and secondary school, man. You know, it was peak for me. So my heart was broken quite a lot. So I know a few things about heartbreaks. But I won. Cheers.
Amen.
I won. I won.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like
look at me now.
That sounds like
and I got a British passport now. Amen. Praise God.
You know those people that say my boyfriend broke up with me. Now I lost 12 stone. And look at me now. Look what he lost that. And it's like, oh yeah,
look
that's
at me
that.
Now,
this is it.
They don't care.
This is it.
They don't care. They don't care.
They moved on.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
But that's part of heartbreak, though. Do you guys know that's part of heartbreak? We try to prove to the other person that, you know,
they missed out.
That we're doing better than. Come on, man. And you know, that means we're not healed yet. If we're still doing that, really and truly, we're not healed because that person's still exactly still fresh. They're still dictating our emotion and our actions. You know, so. Yeah, man.
And you know what? Obviously, now we're in 2021, but obviously, I'm part of that generation that grew up with technology. So now, obviously, when you break up with somebody, there's an extra added dosage of just venom, which is that you can see them every day without seeing them.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So if you got them on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, or some type of social media, you're going to see that person every single day. So you almost have to, well, I would say this anyway, you're going to have to block them so you don't see them. But like, that's another struggle that's added on top of, you know, beforehand, maybe, you know, I guess for a time period, you know, when it wasn't technology as prominent as it is now, you might not see that person, right? Yeah. Unless you lived in the same town as that person. It was a very small town. But now we're in a generation where, I mean, you could be across the seas and still see that person. They don't need to be in the same space as you, you know, and that makes it even more harder to, you know, get over the heartbreak, and especially if they're doing good, and maybe they got another one. You know what I mean? That's just.
You're praying for them to be failing.
Yeah,
it makes you feel good. You're interceding every night. I hope they fail. I hope their car crashes. I hope they fall off. I hope they lose their job. I hope their business falls apart. I hope their wig falls off. I hope something happens.
In the name of Jesus.
Yeah, when you're heartbroken, it's dangerous. Honestly, this is just real. When you're heartbroken.
Heartbreak will make you pray some dangerous prayers, you know. Seriously.
This is man. Honestly is. I mean, okay, so let me ask a question then. Okay, so when was our first heartbreak? When was our first heartbreak? Doesn't have to even be a relationship. It could have been a parent, or it could be anything. But when's your first heartbreak?
I think mine was in probably 99, 98.
Okay.
Heartbreak. Any a relevant heartbreak.
A relevant heartbreak, yeah. Not your parent not buying you an Xbox or something like that. A relevant heartbreak.
Probably 98. 98, 90. Yeah, about 1998, thereabouts. I told my story.
Yeah, I know.
I was with someone for 4.5 years. I'll just recap it. I know, not in the name of Jesus. We do pray in the name of Jesus when we're burnt. Sorry, DJ. When we're burnt, we pray our prayers in the name of Jesus. Yeah, without realizing that it's pain and devilment that's guiding our words. You know, you feel like you're in this righteousness, but God saved you. This is what people have to just thank God. We'll come to it, man. We'll come
Thank
to
God
it.
for he doesn't hear those. Well, he hears it, but doesn't accept it like that.
God doesn't just press the green button every time you pray. Thank God.
Yeah. There'd be mayhem.
But yeah,
Sorry, carry on.
So it's about 98. I was with someone for about 4.5 years, and I think I was too young. And this is the thing. I think I was too young to be that serious. And in about 3/4 of the way through the relationship, I wasn't sure what I wanted, but I didn't know that I didn't know. And although the good thing about it is that we were actually best friends.
Okay.
But I think obviously when you're having sex with someone for 4 years without any intentionality, and this is a big thing, this is a big part of the topic, right?
Yeah.
When you're living as almost as husband and wife with someone,
almost,
and you don't have dates, you don't have a plan, you're just in a relationship. And when you're young, when things get pear-shaped or you're having a little struggle, we never argued. Nothing major really happened, but I just kind of, there's a flame that was going out. But as a young man, as a boy, I thought I was falling out of love. And so I tried to walk away from the relationship, and we kind of took a break for a couple of weeks and then went back in. Nothing was cured. Thinking, I can see better now. And then there came a point where I went into that cycle again about a year later. And we broke up, not realizing there's an old Jamaican saying, a cow don't know the use of his tail till he lose it. And so when we did finally split up, I thought it was what I wanted. And then literally, it must have been about two weeks later, she started dating someone else. Obviously a rebound. Yeah. And it wasn't until I saw her with someone else that I was like, oh, no. I gotta get this back. I gotta get this back. So I tried to get back in there. Yeah. Believe it. Having faith and works together. She was just gonna come back like, yeah, I'm foolish. What am I doing with this other guy? It's a rebound. It's not gonna work. It's me and you. And she said, and it wasn't even that she said no. It was the way she said it.
There was confidence in it, wasn't it?
No, man. It was with the ceiling, bruv. She said it. Well, like one of them Marvel characters with a superpower. Like Dr. Doom, like, nope. I was like, when I heard no, I heard yes. That's a joke. When I heard no, I heard yes. When I heard no, I heard, all right, let's talk about it. Didn't want to go in, did it? It didn't want to go in. This is deep, you know. I remember, bro, you can laugh at me. It's only because we're family. Hey, bro, you've never done this story before.
I'm laugh like that, bro. I know mine's coming, so don't worry.
Yeah, we're gonna get to each other, man. Listen, I heard no. She said no. And then she said, I've moved on.
In 2 weeks?
Bro. But you know what? That's partly my fault. Because she was mucked around. You understand? But when she said, I'm moving on, and I said, yeah, but you know he's a player, innit? And you know he's this, you know he's that. And you know, I tried to give everything to kind of throw it off. And she was like, nope, I'm done. Okay, thank you. Bye. So when the phone got put down, I'm putting on my shoes because I'm like, I'm going to go down there.
Wow.
Hey, I told you already. I ain't felt pain like that. That pain. Yeah, I felt like I was robbed. I felt like I was mugged, burgled, beat up. I felt like Joe. Carjacked. Weren't driving at the time, but I felt carjacked. And there was no warning for that. And you know, the joke is, this is the thing. I was prepared without any proper foresight to go back into that relationship without a care of the consequence. I did not care. I'm like, to avoid this feeling, I was going back in. I'll come back to that.
Yeah, put it in the notes. PG, do you want to give us some tips? First time breaking?
Yeah, I don't want to have to come back after that, man. I mean, there were two, I guess. There was one, this would have been 1990, but I don't think that was significant because I was still too young and too reckless. But
they all count.
I think more, yeah. Trust me, they all burn, man. I think my one would be, and I don't want to be one-sided with this because I've also broken a few girls' hearts. All right, and I think that's very important as well, like in terms of what we've done also. And what we've had to be forgiven for, and that's kind of forgive ourselves for. But I reckon my one, this would be 94, 95. So I was very much still in school. And I guess we're showing our age here now, man. Some people on this, they weren't even born in that time, man. But I remember I was so in love with this young lady. She was in our class. You know, probably like I would say my first proper love. In like, you know, once I knew, you know the ones where you will make mixtapes. Like, and I've mentioned to the guys in that church before. Literally, I'll make mixtapes. Like, literally, I'll get tapes. Wait for the radio. It was Jenny Francis, Pillow Talk on Choice FM back in the days. She'll play all the American slow jams. You know, all the H-Town, all the Jodeci, all the, you know what I'm saying? The Bobby Browns, and literally, and we didn't have streaming those days. Literally, you have to wait, press, record and play at the same time, and keep your finger on it. So when the music and the advert comes off and the music comes on, you quickly press it, and then you wait towards the end because they never let the music play to the end before they start talking. So you quickly press stop. So literally, you do about 5 or 6 songs, and then you get it put in a little. They don't do this no more, man. Put in the little tapes in the little cassette boxes, and then get a little perfume, and then spray it, and then give it to her when you get to school.
Ooh,
that for me was love, man. I moved mountains, man. I did everything, man. I gave my heart.
Levels.
Do you know what I'm saying? That was levels, bro. Like, and we thought we had a good thing, and we were young, but I thought this was love. I felt like, man, you know, we're gonna get married and we're gonna do all this kind of stuff, and I thought this is, you know, someone give me some attention, and I thought this was cool. And then the problem was, though, man, like a few weeks later, it was a school dance. All right, and then there was a song by Casey and JoJo. Oh my goodness, the song was called "If You Think You're Lonely Now, Wait Until Tonight." It was a beautiful song. I was waiting for that song to drop. Yeah, I went to a ghetto school. We used to play that kind of song in our school. It was a school dance. And I thought I would get that dance with her. But she went and danced with my best friend.
Oh, that's pain, bro. That's pain.
It didn't just end there. The next day, I think that was a Thursday night. So the next day, the Friday night, it was no school uniform day.
Mufti day.
She had mufti. She was wearing my best friend's jacket. And if you know anything about schools in those days, especially in South London, the jacket was the ring.
Yeah.
The jacket was the ring. He had been to America and got this kind of American football
was it Averex?
Jacket.
Oh, it was American
football
jacket.
No, it wasn't Averex in those days. No. But it was this American football jacket. And I never been out of the country. I'm an illegal immigrant. I can't go to America to go and buy a nice jacket. I had high-tech trainers, you know. I remember Brian. Oh man, this is painful. She had his jacket, and I'm like, hey, why are you wearing this jacket? I mean, it was one thing dancing with him yesterday at the school dance, but now you're wearing this jacket. She said, well, we're not together anymore. And catch this. I remember this words.
No.
We were never really together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like kunta on the slave ship. I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know what to say. Like I was going to introduce her to my mom. We've been going out for 4 days. I thought I was going to introduce her to my mom. You know what, man? That really broke my, and that stuck with me for years, you know. And you know what it is? It kicked my confidence. Not just with girls in that time, but also just with life. Remember, I've only been in the country maybe for about 5 years, but at that stage, I had a deep, strong African accent. I didn't have too many friends, and what it made me feel unwanted. So it was more than just the relationship was over. It was being unwanted. I literally was one of those relationships where you get an Argos catalog and the Freeman catalogs. You guys remember those ones there? And this generation is missing out, man. That's how I used to dream in those days. You get a
that was the original iPad.
That was one. And you were open and you said, when I get my house, I'm gonna have they put a circle around it. You put a circle, you made the colors match. I built my life around her, and I chose on our behalf in the Littlewoods catalog what our life was gonna be like. And all of a sudden, she wearing my best friend's jacket.
Yeah.
That's painful, man. Some people might laugh at that, but that really hurt me. It knocked a lot of confidence for me. There are 2 years for me to build up later.
That's easy done. That's
from
school days into your adulthood.
Yeah, man.
You know what? Just before we go on, Big T,
question.
Big Key is saying this discussion is triggering. Yes, it is, but we show you some. We're going to bring it back. We're not just sharing ugly stories here for entertainment's sake.
I don't know where you guys are.
And I must say, we are going to laugh at you, Kojo.
I know. I'm ready.
You know, my wife says praise God.
I need you to laugh.
My wife saying praise God.
Yeah.
My wife saying praise God about my story. Praise God.
She was praying prayers. I'm glad you were heartbroken.
My connection was coming.
I prayed for your heartbreak, and that's how it goes sometimes, man.
I prayed.
It's humbled some people. It's good for you, some of you.
Oh man.
Yeah. Before I go, there's a question here. I don't know if you guys want to answer it. It says, after a week, my ex and I broke up. He sent me a prank, flirting, pretending to be some other guy. Can you explain why he would do that?
I don't understand that.
So after a week, the person broke up the ex. They sent a prank. I guess a prank letter or prank flirting. Sent me a prank something, pretended to be some other guy. I'm guessing he probably sent her a message, pretending to be some other guy. Can you explain why he would do that?
So I don't understand the context.
MSM 41009. Do you want to send context to that question so that we can understand what is meant by that? And then we'll come back to your question in a second or two.
Unless you get it, I don't understand it.
I'm guessing they meant it's the person sent him a flirt message and was pretending to be someone else. That's what I'm assuming it is.
So it's either two things. It's either he's trying to hurt her even more by pretending to be someone else, or he regrets what's done and is trying to get her back and trying to pretend to be someone else. But that seems quite hurtful, though.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
quite prideful. If you wind up,
Sorry to cut you. Sorry if I'm cutting you.
Go for it. No, go for it, bro. No, go for it, man.
This is it. I mean, when you break up with someone and you're still in contact with them in no productive way, guys, listen. This is what the points are going to come later on in this show. You must have seen characteristics in the relationship that would lead you to believe that this person isn't really to be in a relationship with, because if they've got that kind of nature to do that, they were questionable from the start. I'm being too direct with these answers, Coach. I don't know.
No. Hey, listen. I mean, to be honest, this is all part of the dark arts. You know what I'm saying? This is he's just temperature checking. He just wants to see where you're at. You know what I'm saying?
This game playing, man. This game playing is
yeah. But he kind of did it slightly because he did it with someone else. He did it behind a veil. Normally, you do this with yourself. Normally, you're the ex temperature checking, but he's kind of gone behind the veil and used someone else to try and do it, which is really kind of
the DJ kind of answered it. He wants to see if she is open to moving on in the right way.
Oh, he's pretending to be someone else. He was temperature checking.
Ninja, man.
He pretended to check it. He's going to temperature check, have a conversation with you. Do you know what I'm saying? See how far he gets. See if he can ask some key questions, whether you're in a relationship or not. Blah blah. He's gathering information. It's spying. You know what I mean? It's another way of spying. Probably he hasn't got a direct link to you through Instagram or Facebook or something like that where you can see your life. So he's probably just going to do that. Do you know what I mean? Hey man,
that's crazy.
Depends how young you. I don't know how young he is, but when you're young, you can do some crazy things. I mean, it's not my
some big guys do that as well, man. Some people they're grown in age, but they're immature, man.
This is true though.
They're immature. That's still playing with someone's heart, man. That's so evil, man.
I'm telling you, if you do that to my daughter, you're in trouble.
They're getting killed, man. That's my niece, man. Someone's getting killed. Sorry.
G, let me tell you. This is the point. If someone did that to my daughter. Two hearts have a broke, you understand? This is serious. You can't play games with like that because that can make people do serious things.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Boy, let me leave it there. Yeah. Kojo!
What? There's still more questions. What are you talking about?
When was your heart broken last, bro?
The first heartbreak. Yeah. The first heartbreak was what? 2000. I think was it 10? Yeah, 2010. I think it was around about then. I don't know how old was I. That's 11 years ago. How am I now? 30, 19, probably a little bit longer. 2008. So I got with a girl. Was great. The heartbreak actually was within the relationship, not the breakup. So there was something that happened that changed me forever. So we was dating for a while. I was young, I was innocent, I was naive, I was fresh, you know what I'm saying? I was a little bunny rabbit, you know what I'm saying, who just, I thought love was this lovey-dovey thing. Something happened within the relationship where I wasn't allowed out very late. African parents don't allow you out too late. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, you know them ones there, man.
You can't go out past a certain time. You got to be in at a certain time. You know what I mean? So obviously she didn't have that restriction. So she was going out with her friends, everything like that. But I had to be in. And so she was trying to get me to come out, and I couldn't come out. I was like, I can't. My parents won't allow it. And then, she was obviously enjoying herself, going out with a few friends here and there. You know what's coming in it. And then I get this message on Facebook like, hey, we need to talk. This is the first ever we need to talk I've ever heard in my entire life, okay? So I don't know. We need to talk I've heard about it, but I didn't know. I've never experienced it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
So I'm thinking about it. This doesn't sound good. I think this is what people are talking about when they say we need to talk. This is not a good thing. So we need to talk. So on Facebook now. And she's typing. Then obviously she's gone back because it stops. And then she's typing again. Then it stops. I'm like, what is this girl doing?
That's frustrating.
I'm like, listen, what is going on? I said, what's going on? She's like, I need to tell you something. I'm like, so my head, as soon as you say you need to tell me something, my head's already gone. I'm gone. My head's got to start thinking about what it could be. All right. I'm already dreaming up possibilities that are probably dark and twisted. Okay. She's like, because you haven't been out with us and I've been out and about, not out and about, but I've been out with friends and stuff like that. And she was like, basically, there was a guy that I started liking. When I heard it, like it didn't sink in at first. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have delayed reactions to things that are mad. You understand? When things are mad, I have delayed reactions. So I'm really calm. I'm like, oh, okay. So tell me more. What happened? And she was like, we just started talking. I liked his vibe and the way that he moved and and you know what? We just started catching up, chilling, and she's like, I just started liking him. But she's like, I wanted to let you know because I didn't want it to go any further, and like I didn't want to hurt you, kind of thing. So I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm like, thank you for even telling me. You know, I really, really appreciate you coming to me, everything like that, right? Now I'm telling you, at that time, it took at least half an hour for it to sink in. It did not sink in. I'm hearing it, but I'm not registering it, right?
Yes.
So I'm telling her, I'm like, she's like, oh, you're taking this really, really well. I'm like, yeah, no, these things don't really affect me like that. Listen, if you've come to tell the truth, at least I can work with it. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it still hasn't sunk in. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I meant what I said. I'm like, yeah, no, these things don't hurt me like that because you've told the truth. At least now I can trust you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't find out from someone else, right? So cool. After about half an hour, we finished talking. She's gone to whatever. I just got up from the computer desk and I started walking to my room. I said, what the heck is happening?
Hold on a minute.
Hold on a minute.
Hold on.
Did this girl say she likes somebody
What did
else?
you just-
Bro, let me tell
And
you
you said
something.
thank you to her.
I said thank you.
Oh man!
Thanks for telling me.
Thank you. We appreciate the honesty. You know what I mean? Because I've not deeped it. And then when I get to my room, I'm deep in it. And at this moment, I'm deep in it fully, like what she said. And let me tell you something. That changed me completely because I saw the world naively. I saw everyone as just nice, and people who do nasty stuff, they're outside. They don't do those things. Who I met was a lovely girl. She's not like that, blah, 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 right? Then when that hit, a piece of me died that day that's never come back. I promise you. The innocence that I had died. And from that moment, a different guy was born. Because from that, I became a man, but I also became dark. Because now it's like, no one's playing me again.
That's what I'm saying, man.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
It was painful, bro. After I realized and I said it came in, it took a day or two, and then it settled in. And then I was like, whoa, nice job. We are both going to die in this thing. Don't worry.
Oh.
Yeah, it was mad. So the innocence went. That's what died that day. Do you know what I mean? And so now I can't, now I couldn't see. It became a power struggle. That relationship for the next 2 years, it became a power struggle. Because in my head, all I thought was, I'm going to show you cannot do that to me.
In that same relationship.
In that same relationship, bro. In that same relationship. And we were both doing it without saying it. Just doing stuff. Flirting with people in front of the other person, trying to do things to get the person to feel a certain type of way. But nowadays we would say it's a toxic relationship. But then when we were younger, it was just like, okay, we're just doing silly little things, oversharing, saying things, being places where you shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I was hella manipulative myself. I'll be honest with you. I was hella manipulative.
Bro, can I ask you a question, bro?
Go for it.
While you were going through that, did you, at any instance, did you blame your mum for not letting you out?
Do you know what? Eventually, do you know what?
Real talk. Because I've been there, bro.
I blamed everybody.
Everyone.
Mum and dad.
My mum, man.
My mum was even cool. She didn't mind. It's my dad who was saying, you're not going anywhere. So it was. So what happened after that? I started warring my parents to get out. I started sneaking out.
Wow.
I started coming out the house. Eventually, they had to just give me my freedom because I just wouldn't. I would just stay out. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, they'll lock the door, but I don't mind. If we want to do battle, let's do battle. But eventually, they gave me the freedom to do it. But that didn't solve the actual issue that I had. Do you know what I'm saying? So although I had the freedom, it didn't solve the issue. But yeah, I warned my parents. I was like, how? You see, you've cost me. And because I really love this girl, I put everything into the girl. And I started thinking, that's the problem as to why she did that to me. Nah, someone's got to get it.
You know, it makes me wonder sometimes. I know that we've got a lot of females on, a lot of ladies on the stream, but it makes me wonder because you mentioned that something, and that's literally what happened to me as well. That someone dark was born out of this, and I wonder with a lot of the guys who mistreat women when they're older, because for me, after that relationship in school went crazy, for the next couple of years, as I said, my confidence was lost, but then I became someone different. I started to mistreat ladies, like young girls. So now it wasn't about relationship no more. It's about how many people I can sleep with.
Yeah.
I want to get my power back. I'm never going to put myself in a position. So I went from flipping through Argos catalogs and Littlewoods catalogs and planning the future. I'm thinking, you know what, man? I'm going to get an Avrix jacket. I'm gonna get his car, I'm gonna get his bike, I'm gonna get his trainers, I'm gonna look fly, so I can get any girl I want. I don't care about her, but I just want to look fly. And I think that births something horrible. And I think you mentioned that so powerfully, man. And that's what we don't realize. And I guess it's the same way as well, because we also birth something in some women as well, that when we mistreat them as men or break their hearts, they become someone different. They become someone different. They start doing things that, you know, that weren't even in their radar. But it's because of pain, because pain and hurt, it makes people do unimaginable things, man.
It's that far-reaching. Kojo, you touched it. It's like you are consciously. Remember, you're a Christian at the same time, bro. And it's amazing how you can be a Christian or a nice person and still consciously plan to be untenable. What do I mean by that? So you know that you must know that any relationship I get into with this mindset, it will never work. But I'm still going to do it because I will never be hurt again.
Yep, I'm protecting myself.
Doesn't matter what your religion is.
Me that time was I wasn't a Christian. So I go away with everything. I did everything I needed to do. There was no repercussions for me. There was no conscience around it. It was just a case of my heart was broken. And in an African household, I couldn't tell my mom my heart's been broken. I probably get beats for that. You know, like you're meant to be facing your books. Why are you dealing with that kind of stuff for? So you didn't have anyone to really tell. And because of the fact that she got with my best friend in school, I couldn't really go and tell my best friend that either. So you were just left alone to carry your pain alone. And I'm an only child. So no one to tell. But I had a lot of time to conjure up and to think up very dark thoughts and things of how I want to live my life and I want to recreate myself so nobody will ever take advantage of me ever again. And it's horrible, man.
It is.
It's horrible.
It is. And I must say, I've witnessed it in my family, people very close to me in my family. I wish I could say who, I'm just not sure yet. And it's not anyone who's listening and that they'll ever listen to it. It's just, I think this is it's getting real personal now, I guess.
Heartbreak is personal.
You know, I guess even in our parents, we need when I was talking about family, not our parents, but family who you just see that there's something's happened to them, but they have children, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids.
Yeah.
And we were discussing today that what do these people think they're passing on? And I talk about ourselves as well, you know. What would you be passing on to these kids? Remember, the only way that they really have functional relationships is from what they see from us.
Yeah.
So I think it was Goddess mentioned it a moment ago. She admits here it's the same for women. Definitely me 932.
Okay.
Ken Paul Goddess.
Yeah, I got it.
It's the same for women. Yeah, definitely me. She admits it. I appreciate that. Not even to hurt someone, but never letting myself get hurt again really means I'm going to block off any kind of productive relationship potential. And you can still be married and do that. Do you know what I'm saying? You can still have kids and do that. And that's what that is. I don't want to diagnose you, Goddess. I don't want to do that at all. It's really just something I was talking about earlier today, which is still profound for me that we, not just you, we will do that. We will say, nah, man, you never hurting me again. But boy, you're living that life and you found someone and you're wondering why certain things ain't working. There's no evolution in your relationship because you have got this wall up. And even though I made a vow to you, I will never put it down. I find that profound. And I'm talking about myself.
Wow. Come on, man.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's heavy.
Real talk, man.
But let me let me ask Kojo. Did you start moving mad after that
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think someone else put a comment there saying, how can it be about power, right? In terms of like
Okay.
heartbreak after, right? So I want to just give a little bit of an explanation. So look, I come from a two-parent household. You know, it wasn't too crazy. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it could have been more emotional love, I think, but I think that's every household. You know what I mean? No one's perfect. That heartbreak, what it confirmed to me was the world is cold out there. Do you understand? Yeah, because you have to understand that especially when it's your first time, you are filled with ideologies and mythologies that love is this beautiful, enchanting. It's never offending.
Disney, man. It's Disney.
It's Disney. You don't have any true reality of what love is at your first time go, right? And when she did that, what she did was she destroyed the image. Do you understand? She destroyed the image. And at that point, all I could think was, if I allow you another inch, you'll hurt me again. Right? Because what I started to see myself at that moment, when she did that, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, and I had my own insecurities. Don't get it twisted. I had my own insecurities. I said to myself, it's because I'm soft. It's because I'm a nice guy. Yeah. It's because I'm not like the bad boys out there. You didn't do that to the bad boys. The bad boys were doing that to you. But now me, who's a soft guy, the nice guy, I've allowed you to come and do me dirty. It's my fault. It's not you.
Do you know who that reminds me of? Very briefly, you know who that reminds me of? There's a girl, the black girl in Married at First Sight in UK.
Oh, Nikita. Yeah. Nikita
She looks
Rufus.
like she's got a good, nice heart, but she's got that wall.
She's got the guard. She's got the lion on there, bruv. Yeah. No one can get in. She's got lions on there, bro. You know what I'm saying? She gonna need some therapy on that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's honestly that's what I was thinking. It's just that, you know, I'm not gonna. It's not your fault. It's me for presenting this image that you can take me for a mug. Yeah, and that's the honest word I had. I said I must have mug written over my forehead because obviously you're not doing that to other guys. You only did that to me. Because when you told me your stories about how you dealt with relationships, you've never done it to anybody. But to me, you did it to me. So I started looking at the pattern. What's the pattern between me and them? All the guys were bad guys. Me, I'm the good guy. You did that too? That means it's me. It's not them. And it's not you. It's me. So how am I going to change that? Me too. I'm going to become bad within my own spectrum of thought of bad, right? Because I have limitations I can't go to, right? Because of my Christian construct, what I was growing up in the household, right? So there's a level I can't go to. But I'm going to be bad. I'm going to play games because now I need you to know it can't be me. The trouble with that is you just don't know how far that limit goes, and that's the thing. You start playing games consistently and all the time. You don't even know. At times, you don't even know you're playing the game. You don't even realize. So it becomes about getting your power back. You understand? Because when you've been hurt, it's because you in that moment when you feel hurt, you feel like someone has robbed you of power in that moment. So you're trying to take it back. So when I say that when men sometimes do this thing, it's not that it's a power. When I say power, it's like you're trying to get something back because someone's taken something from you. When you give your heart to somebody, you've given them responsibility to hold it. And if they drop it and they break it, you've given them power. Do you understand? So what we're trying to do is take that power back in that moment. And then it's the wrong way we do it. And then we end up misbehaving and hurting others and saying we don't care, because if we care, then we have to deal with ourselves. And I ain't got time to deal with myself because that means actually looking at what actually happened to me. And I'm no mug. So I thought.
Do you know what? I wanted to ask a question, G.
Yes, sir.
Ashley has a comment, 939. There's a question for you, 939 from Ashley. It'll come up in the screen.
Just bring it, Ashley. Yeah, I got it. And that's not it. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Is that the one? Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
I have a hard time believing that certain men feel heartbreak at all. Man, we are emotional too, man. We feel it, man. We feel it. I know some real thugs and some real crazy people, man, that I've seen them cry because a girl broke their heart. And that heartbreak can be in many places. It could be maybe a baby mother that won't allow them to see the children anymore and stuff like that. There's so many complexities to it, but men feel the pain. I think men sometimes we just have a better way of maybe masking it. We try not to show our weakness, so we try to. It's almost like we jump the steps of of how we deal with heartbreak, because I said earlier in my introduction that heartbreak is almost the same. You go through the same process as if you go through grieving the loss of a loved one, you know. And sometimes men, they jump from the shock straight to anger, so they become angry, you know. And as Kojo was saying, you construct this new person that is defensive. So we might not show you that we're heartbroken. We won't show you. We just be dismissive, like you don't matter. But deep down, man, someone's crying, man. Someone's crying, because that young lady that when I was in school, I didn't let, and for every girl who's broken my heart since then, I didn't let, the moment I realized that there was no chance of getting back together, I didn't let them know that I was in pain. Because remember, I've already felt like I've lost my power. Now the last thing I'm going to do is come and grovel to you and say, please, I'm so up. No, I'll move on to the next girl. Even though the next girl's not what you want, but I need to show you that I'm okay without you. I'm okay without you. And I'll say that not, I mean, thank goodness when I was dating, there was no social media. So I'm saying my age right now. You know, there was no social media. So I don't know how people do it nowadays. Like seeing your ex-girlfriend or your ex-boyfriend on Instagram and they're living good. They're out in Saint-Tropez, or they're in Monaco, or they're in the Bahamas living up with a new partner. And you're there working, I don't know, man. There's a lot of pain in that. But I think men, we hide it a bit better. So men, we go through heartbreak, man. We go through heartbreak, and it hurts. And sometimes it hits a sort of what I call a manliness. We don't feel like a man. If we can't hold down a relationship, if you're saying no, if you're breaking up with us, then I can't be a man. Oh, you're breaking up with me? You're taking the power away from me? And that's why a lot of men, they go around and start messing up other women. That's why I said earlier that a lot of men you see right now messing about with other girls and kind of playing with their hearts. If you take a trip down memory lane, you might notice that there's a pattern of their hearts being broken, and this is how they feel, as immature and as insensitive and as horrible as it is, for them to deal with it, man. It's horrible, man. It's horrible.
Absolutely,
it's horrible. But yeah, we feel the pain, though, man.
I was gonna add to that. What men do, just to be clear, before we answer Tina's question, is what men do is men and women are different in that women will vent their emotions a lot easier than men. So that, for example, when it comes to things like suicide, women are often less successful. The reason why men are one of the reasons why men are more successful at suicide, meaning that when they attempt it, they usually end up killing themselves, is because they go all out, because it's bottled up. And so when they go for it, whenever they do something, they move proper mad, because it's the big fat outlet. So what it is that men are not able to articulate their emotions so easily. A lot of the time, they don't know how to manage that intensity. This is the deep thing. But Kojo, what would you say about this question, though, from Tina?
How do you protect yourself without playing games? I think honestly, I think you need to take time out. I think you need to go and sit on the bench. You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't need to be on the field. You need to be on the bench. Come on, okay? Man. All right? Because what's happening is people are going onto the field earlier than their time specified. Like, you need time to actually, I always say this, like, if you can look back through, you know, the relationship or the heartbreak you just had, and you can begin to analyze it without having all the emotions overwhelm you in that moment, then you're ready to go back on the field. If you can't review the analysis of the information that's happened to you in the past without getting overloaded emotionally, you're not ready. Go sit down and go and review it again. Take time and heal. Do you know what I'm saying? Because what's happening is emotions is what we always say men are, well, the world might say men are not as emotional as women. I actually don't think that's true. I think men are more emotional than women. Yeah. That is why we have to cover ourselves when we get hurt. More. You know what I'm saying? Because more, because we feel it. So I think people need to go and take time sit on the bench, review the information. If you still feel that when you're sitting there and you start crying all over again, maybe you're not ready. Maybe you need to cry some more. It's good for you. It's tears are prayers. Go there and let it all out. And because if you're still feeling all those emotions so raw, what happens is you get into the next relationship and you're actually not able to see whether this person in front of you is a viable candidate or not. And they really, oftentimes what happens is they're not, right? They're not. They're not.
100.
And then you're emotional and you are trying to find clues to see if it's going to work or not, but you're not in a good state to observe. You know what I'm saying? So this is why, that time of reflection, of healing, introspection is really good for the soul. But I ask anybody, if you've been heartbroken, please sit down on the bench. Okay, review the information. If you can't review it without crying and getting overwhelmed with your emotions and feeling like you hate men, listen, we've all been there. We hate women sometimes, women hate men. At that point in time, if you're still feeling those feelings, you ain't ready to be in a relationship.
You ain't ready.
You ain't. Sit down on the bench, recover, and that's how you don't play.
Can I drop?
Go for it, sir. Go for it.
Can I drop something there real quick? Like it's
man.
And I believe, and this might sound very controversial, but I believe there is positivity. There's something to heartbreak. I really believe so. As I said at the beginning, that heartbreak basically in essence means the end of a relationship, the end of something. As I said, that's why it's easily compared to grieving the loss of a loved one. The reason why I say that is this, because sometimes it takes a heartbreak for us to really come to the realization that we were worth more than what we were putting up with in the first place. Some relationships deserve a heartbreak. They've literally, they've gone through the natural cycle, but it's on life support machine. The guy is mistreating the lady. The lady has no respect. Everyone's eyes is wandering and things are happening and this a lot of disrespect and distrust in the relationship. And sometimes we stick with it because we don't want to be alone. Bro. So sometimes it might take somebody to say, you know what, let's break this up. And it might cause an heartbreak. And look, in part of my job in pastoring people, one of the hardest things that people don't want to, one of the reasons why people don't want to walk out of a relationship because they don't want to be by themselves. Bro, so they'd rather stay in something that's broken and toxic rather than go through the process of a heartbreak. See, in order for something new to be birthed, something has to die. And some people don't want that thing to die. So as long as you're keeping down life support machine, you can never experience something new. It was the psalmist that said it in the scripture that it was good for me to be afflicted. In that affliction, I was able to know the statutes, which means the purposes, the power of God. And sometimes we don't know the worth and the value on the inside of us until we go through a heartbreak, until we get to that place. Yeah, when we stop crying and start being boo-woo-woo, but when we get to the place of, hey, I might have cried for a few weeks, but I so deserve more than that. Come on, man. I deserve, if he was going to treat, I'm so glad, because imagine if I'd married him. Imagine if I married him and he'd left me with 5 kids. This would be my story. So I'm glad he broke my heart while we were in college. I'm glad he broke my heart while we were just dating. I'm glad he did it. Because ultimately, we want to get to a place of recovery. Every heartbreak must always lead to a place of recovery. And part that's been open with us and saying, you know what, man? This had to happen. Let me cry. This had to happen. Let me cry. And look, I tell people, if you're going to cry, if you're going to go for a heartbreak, make sure you got some money in the bank account. Take yourself on a holiday. On your Jack Jones. Go on the best holiday you can afford.
But I spend it all on my man though. So
it's for nobody. It's for you. Go and
he
chill.
He took all my money.
Camp for yourself. Look after yourself. This is who I am. I am good all by myself, man. I am good all by myself. Because until you're good all by yourself, you're never gonna be good for anyone else. Because you're gonna take how Tyrone treated you, and now you're gonna bring that to a relationship with Sheun. That's the only Nigerian name I can think of right now. You're gonna bring out Tyrone mistreated you, and you're gonna make Sheun pay for your sin, pay for Tyrone's sins. It's not good, man. It's not good. So it was good that you were afflicted, man. That's why a lot of times now I look at my ex-girlfriends and the people who broke my heart, and I say, "Thank you, Jesus." Even the girl that had the green eyes, she still got the green eyes now, but she ain't got nothing else in life. I cried over the green eyes. But now I'm like, man, anyone can wear contacts now, man. I'm good. So,
baby,
like,
would you put some
on.
green contacts on for me?
Cry
Put some
on.
green contacts on me, baby.
You know what I'm saying to you? My wife gives me more than green eyes. She gives
it.
me the world, man.
This
you know,
is it.
so it's good that you were afflicted, man. And that's biblical for anyone wants to know, man.
Now, listen, that was my point you made, right? That was my big thunder point, but you know, you said it better than I could, but I want to add to it. And what I'm about to say might sound controversial.
That's all right.
But it means a lot to me in the patterns that I see. And it will answer this question, Fatal, who was killing us with the comments, the deep stuff, right? I want to say this. I think that when you're in a relationship that is no good, or was or could have been good, but it's upside down, but you refuse to see it because you're of your emotional investment. And so I think one of the reasons why we're happier to stay in a relationship, sorry, it's a fly buzz around my head. The reason why we're happy to stay in, we prefer to stay in a relationship is because we've put all our money into something.
You want to return an investment
before we've received the paperwork. What am I saying? I'm saying that we are having sex with people, which is an investment, right? One of the highest forms of human investment. And when you're in there, there's no date, there's no plan. You're living together as husband and wife. I've put in too much. I haven't signed a contract. I have no future plan. And the thing is, I'm now 30, 32, 34, 38 years old. I've got nothing. If I walk away from this, I'm going to be heartbroken and I have to start again. And I've put so much in. And when you are emotionally invested, where you're giving your body to someone, you're locked in. It's very hard to come out of that. And it's supposed to be that way. But we often do it back to front and we expect a good outcome and we feel robbed. Typically, a woman feels robbed by a man in this matter. I've given him everything and he walks away. And this is the joke. Actually, you robbed yourself. Because if there's an order to this, right? And oh man, I've been watching a lot on what premarital sex really does and cohabiting, right? Guys, I'm just sharing with you what the stats are, right? And the science. When you live with someone before you're married, or if you have sex before you're married, there is a higher chance of you breaking up. So the heartbreak, which is a natural part of this, heartbreak is a part of life. But you increase your chances of heartbreak because now you've given flesh. You're sharing blood with someone. And then it breaks up. You sold yourself a lie. And I'm just encouraging you that now you have to go back. You have to be prepared to undo this. If you've done it that way, that's usually the way it works out. You will have sex with someone without commitment, and it's gonna and someone's gonna be heartbroken. That is a situation. That is a dilemma. That's something we spoke about on Wednesday, Coach. Guys, don't do it that way. I'm not speaking to you as a Christian. I'm speaking to you as just a human. It doesn't work. The chances, wow. It's a fly. I'm chasing a fly. The chances of you guys breaking up, okay, I'm just going mad in here. The chances of you breaking up are so high. The chances of you being heartbroken and him feeling like he's taken from you, like he has a part of me inside him. I can feel him inside me. That's going to happen, especially when you don't have a plan. Get a plan. Do things right. Do it in a way that works. That's why some people, they're like, I'm not starting again. I'm going to stay right here and try and work this devilment out. It's not going to work.
The flight won't let you be great.
It's fruit flies, man. I got fruit here.
Someone said something in the comments that that sex is not an investment. I would just like to feels like respectfully correct that it is an investment. Because that's why we call it soul tie. It is an investment. For somebody who used to be a sex addict, who is now a pastor and a Christian, and again, not talking from a Christian point of view, but just talking from a man's point of view, it is an investment, because oftentimes we live in a world where sometimes we do it unconsciously. All right, even a prostitute is investing something. I guarantee, but maybe that's for a different session. That's why we often ask somebody to prove their love for us by having sex with us.
Come on,
all right.
Man.
We're making them invest in something, and they have to reason and bargain with themselves. Like, do I do this or don't I do this? And then they weigh up, and then it's okay. I'm going to do this because at the end of this, I should get something back from it.
Right. Which is more love.
So it is an investment. But I guess this might not be the right time to speak about it, because that's an old teaching and examples that I can give us about that. So that's why we call it soul tie, because something's tied to something. And that's why people get angry. In a relationship where sex is not present, it is easier to break up and move on.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, talking from stats and talking from my own experience in terms of marriage counseling. Absolutely. When you've given your body to somebody, majority of the time is the women, all right? When you're giving your body to a man, it is harder to deal with the shock of being abandoned or forsaken or rejected, because you've given in your mind what is most precious to you. You've given it the thing that your grandmother say, keep it till you're married, keep it to your husband. You've given it to somebody who you saw you had a picture of a future with. You've given it, and now they've turned around. And the worst one is when they hit once and they tell you it's finished. I think that hurts the most.
I don't want your money.
Because you start to question yourself as a woman. Was I not good enough in bed? Is my body not good enough? Is it me? Or did I just get used and abused and just dashed to the street? That's why when sex is involved in a relationship and then the relationship comes to a conclusion, that really hurts.
Yeah.
It really hurts. And I think for us men, we have to be careful how we treat the women. And I'm not going to lie to you, along the way, I have done some damage. This is me opening up now. And my wife knows this. And I've been honest about this. You know, when me and my wife first met, she asked me, how many girls have I been with? And I told her the figure. All right, I won't share with you guys on this platform, but I told her the figure, and I realized that, and I couldn't remember some of the names of the women. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And that for me, I look back and I said, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I said to myself, God, don't give me daughters, because I don't want anybody to repay my daughters what I've done to other women. Because I will go jail. I will literally go jail for that. So I think us men as well, we have to be real cautious. Like, if a woman gives you a body, they invested in this, man.
Absolutely.
I don't care how wild and how crazy that woman is. It's an investment.
And in a marriage,
without being conscious about it, that means they invest in a broken place. They're broken, and we have to sort of dissect that and see why they're just giving their bodies to any man. Is because they're broken. So we have to be careful, man. It's an investment.
Let me. I had some stats here. Let me have some.
Yes,
Kojo, before we come to Fem, Fatal, we're coming to your comment. According to a study published by the Journal of Epidemiology, for women, recovery after a breakup was greatly hindered, if not entirely stalled. As the number of splits increased, the mental health of women down spiraled. So the more heartbreak is, the more mental health. Do things right, people. There's more. Sadly, Americans have 18% more heartbreak than British folk. Just throwing that one in there. There was one here. Because the pain that is associated with breakup, because of the pain that is associated with breaking up, Many people are avoiding it, even when they know that ending the relationship is in the person's best interest.
Yeah. Wow.
Don't muck around with people, man. I want to address every comment on here. There's a comment here. Why do men have such little empathy? Take it personally when faced with women who are guarded or cautious, knowing how heartless men can be, and how women are socialized to be more people pleasing. Do you know what? I want to answer that in one way, and I'm not providing all the answer to that. I would say, if you want to protect your house, don't go hunting for burglars. Just protect your house. Protect yourself, meaning set yourself up. Be wise in how you move. Because there are burglars out there, in the same way that there are men out there who don't care. Just like women, but far more men who don't care. But you can't blame these men. You have to actually take responsibility for how you move. And I know that Fempertal, this is a question that you're asking. It's not necessarily about you. But for anyone who's asking that question, don't keep your eye on the dysfunctional men. Just move right for yourself. Don't be so easily drawn into the deepest parts of a relationship. Check yourself when you're getting into this relationship, ask questions. What's your plan? So you want to marry me? Well, then we'll wait till we're married before we have sex. If they can't wait, no, don't get me wrong. Sex is a struggle. If you're in a relationship, it's a struggle to hold it down. But you have a plan. Meet the family. Do you know what I'm saying? Write things down. Set dates. Tell someone about your past. Tell them, I don't want to be hurt again. Tell me, have conversations, real conversations. Don't go by how you feel and stay in that honeymoon phase forever. Keep it real. Because this is for life. Because your marriage is for life, and the trauma you suffer is for life.
Life too.
Do you know what I mean? So don't worry about men having lack of empathy. Sometimes these men have a lack of empathy is because they never had a father to teach them, or they were waiting for their fathers to come home, and they never came home for visits because their mothers didn't know, because their mothers were hurt by either their mother or their father, because something happened to somebody and they're transferring it, and now it's on your shoulders. Don't watch them. Protect yourself. And I think Kojo made it real clear. Like, when you're protecting yourself, you can't exist in a place of guardedness, because that's not really protecting yourself. It's actually suffocating yourself. I want to go into it some more, but we have so much to say. It's getting deep.
Wow.
It's a real thing, isn't it? I mean, so this is one of those interesting questions as to why we have little empathy. I think first and foremost, I think the society which we have contributed towards, I've always said this, men contribute towards the society, is that we have no safe space for ourselves as men to be able to be empathetic. And this is partly our fault too, because the men in society have built a society where there is no room to express feelings. So without the ability to express feelings, you're going to struggle when you're grown up to be able to be empathetic towards feelings. And that is mainly the main cause as to why we don't feel empathetic to a lot of things that happen. Number two, we're in a position of privilege, and that makes it difficult again to empathize with those who are being hurt all the time when you're in a place of disprivilege. Because as much as we're talking about our hurts and our pains, like I said, our next move was to operate in the privilege that we have as men, which is within a society. We don't get killed for sleeping around. That's our privilege. We don't get killed for sleeping around. If I sleep around with 100 today, man, them are gonna praise me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Come on,
like, bro, you're 101. Oh, my guy, you're moving mad, guys.
My guy.
But my guy, you know what I'm saying? But if a girl tells you now it's 102, man, that girl is about to get absolutely rollocked. name called, everything like that, rah, rah, rah. Now, whether that's fair or not doesn't make a difference. This is what we have in society at the moment, okay? And so because of that, you know, men can get away with certain behaviors, like we're talking about now, which is not being empathetic. Now, here's my thing. I'm going to be honest with you, right? This thing actually happened to me recently. I was talking to a female and I sensed the guard, and guess what I did? I said, I'm not bothering with this. I'm not going to bother. And here's why also. At first, I'll be the guy that'll be like, yeah, you know what? I know she got a guard. Let me take my time. Let me slowly move in there and let her to trust me. And I said, you know what? I cannot be bothered. I'm not going to do all the breaking of the walls of Jericho all over again. I've done that before. It's tiring.
Come on, man.
Do you know what I'm saying? Get healed. That was my thought process. I was like, I'm not going to deal this anymore, right? That I'm not about to start knocking down walls. I've always said this, and ladies, you can testify this if you watch my channel. You know I've said this before. The only people jumping over walls like this are very, very nice guys who end up being manipulative, or two, dogs. Because they're the only ones that are jumping over walls. The good guys are like, why am I having to go through the 10 trials of Hercules to get and win your heart when there are other women out there who are not doing that? Do you know what I'm saying?
They're just open.
So they're just open. And when I'm saying open, guarding your heart is not a wall. It's a difference.
No.
There is wall and there's guarding your heart. Some people have built walls upon walls upon walls that whenever you even... Listen, we had this conversation about a year ago. We were talking about colorism. And someone asked a question, which was this. Why do ladies, when we say a compliment to you, you can't take the compliment, right? And it was like, well, we've been through X, Y, and Z. And I said, I hear that and I'm rocking with you. But that's the wall we're talking about. See, if I say to you, you know what, you're looking lovely today. Why are you telling me I'm looking lovely today? You men, you don't even, that's the wall we're talking. Nobody wants to jump that no more. You don't even know me. We're not jumping that wall. Get healed. We're not jumping that wall, right? Because remember, and I want to say this again, women, you are actually in deficit. There's more of you than there is of us. So I don't have to deal with that section of women when there are other women that are going to be open. And again, I said, guarding your heart is not a wall. Guarding your heart is not a wall. There is a wall and there's guarding your heart, right? So guarding your heart means I'm not going to allow I'm not going to allow my emotions to precede me when I'm going forward and having a conversation with this person. I'm going to be cautious with it, but I'm going to be open to the conversation.
Clarity.
With clarity. Defensive means everything you say now, I'm absolutely skeptical and I'm going to start blocking things. I'll just start blocking you here, blocking you there, blocking you here. You have to go through trials and tribulations before you can get to it. And listen, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm no longer young. So this is probably why I'm thinking that. I am no longer young. I am not going to spend my time doing hurdles. Okay, I'm a flat speed runner, 100. I want a clear route. I want to have a conversation. Let it be open. If we don't get on, we don't get on. If you got a different style of way of looking at life, fantastic. We can move on. But I'm not going to be jumping over hurdle after hurdle after hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. I will be tired.
Come on.
So please heal and then go on there. That's why I said sit on the bench. This men and women, by the way. But yeah.
Bro, put up the comment I just sent to you, please.
Okay.
Oh man, we told you we're going to get there because this isn't just about stories. This isn't about complaining about the problem, but we're trying to make a pathway. Zuri Zaid, you posted an interesting comment here, right? Where are the fathers? And I would say they're being produced daily by people who have not healed. Those are the fathers. I would throw something out there. It's not the solution. It's not the complete solution, but it's part of the solution. And I would say this. If women had their standards set so that they were ready, this wouldn't happen. If they would not allow men to come and just come inside them, and I mean C-O-M-E, just to come inside their bodies, enter in for fun, to enter in for entertainment, to pass a time, for just personal gratification. If women would say no to that, if 3/4 of the black, I'm talking to everybody here, but if the black community, which suffers greatly from multiple fathers, right, per female, or is that the other way around? if they got together and just said, we're going to really check ourselves before, you wouldn't, you're a part of the problem. You wouldn't perpetuate some of the issues that we have. But it's true for men too. If, just if, it's a massive word. If men were to say, let me stop a minute, let me understand that I'm hurting generations. It's not just a woman. The fun I'm trying to have, if I were to say to myself, this will destroy generations. If women got together, or it was just women just stood by themselves, even after this live, and said, I will heal and I will have the standard of having myself together, then you can ask yourself the question, where are the fathers? And any children that are born, any male children that are born, they're going to be more together. They won't replicate some of these issues. I'll just leave that there.
Man.
If.
Wow.
Just if.
Where are the fathers indeed, man? I think that's
a lot of discipline. Yeah.
That's a real powerful question that I guess it undergirds a lot of things that we're talking about today. A lot of the brokenness in society, including part of what we're talking about today, including broken hearts and the healing from it, it is a direct response to missing fathers.
Yeah.
You know, I always say this, that when men are out of position, bad things happen in culture. All right. And that starts from when we go back to the book of Genesis with Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
God gave specific instructions to the first man, Adam. And Adam was out of position, which allowed the serpent to have a conversation with the woman. And that conversation is something that we're still all paying for right now. Thank God for the blood of Jesus. But we're still paying for that in some kind of way. That's why women have to go through pain and labor to give forth birth to a child. That's why we can't walk around naked nowadays without being sexually aroused, because all that came because, you know, we fell. Man was out of position. And what the devil, and I know for me, when I see Christianity and church life, I know a lot of people like to be in church buildings and sing songs and dance and do all that kind of stuff. But while we're doing all that, the enemy is plotting and strategically displacing our men. You understand that? There needs to be, you know, when as pastors, sometimes, you know, men don't come to church, but we just are happy that the women are there to help out. So we're good. All right. We don't really care. All right. And what's happened is that because men are out of position, there's no one to tell a son or a daughter that's gone through a heartbreak how to be healed. The father's not there. We've never been like today. Just before I jumped in there, I was preaching about the prodigal son, the lost son, from Luke 15, and we were talking about how the father saw his son from afar off, and he ran to the lost son to embrace him and to restore him. There was a restoration, a reconciliation happening right there, because that's what a father does. That's why we say God is a good father, because a good father knows how to rescue and restore and retrieve. But if our fathers are missing, nobody is retrieving and rescuing. We just leave everybody to the slaughter. And we have a bunch of sons and a bunch of daughters walking around broken, hurting. And in order to cover up that pain, or to, in essence, to numb that pain, we'll go forth and we heal and we hurt other people. So when we talk about broken heart, and one thing I love, another thing in the Bible, and I'm really not trying to preach, but I am in a little bit. In Malachi chapter 4, it talks about, and this was one of the last words and prophecies that was given in the Old Testament before there was a 400 years silence that God didn't speak to the earth. And one thing that God said was that through the prophet was this, that there will come a time when the hearts of the father would turn to the children and the hearts of the children would turn back to the father. Yes. And I think that's so powerful and prophetic, because why? until the hearts of the fathers attend to the children and vice versa, we will always live in a broken world. So we talk about heartbreak, but the heart of our world is broken. The heart of our world is broken. We have more people walking around broken now than actually healed. And what we do is we break each other's hearts. That's why there's terrorism, there's all this kind of stuff, because we are recycling this thing, or just breaking each other, xenophobia, homophobia, all this kind of stuff. It's all because we just want to, we're breaking each other. And we have to get to a place right now where we have to ask to be healed.
Yeah.
And it takes the fathers. It takes the father being repositioned. So when your daughter goes out and somebody breaks her heart, you be the one to show her what a real man is like. So that they'll be okay to stay on that bench and say, I'm going to wait for a father. I'm going to wait for a man who's just like my daddy. Or if they've got a son and the son goes for a heartbreak, they'll be like, a son, come on, you can still do this, man. There's a hope in the future for you. But we don't have men. I didn't have a man. I didn't have a father to speak to me when I went for a broken heart. So I just felt like the best way to get back or to heal was to hurt. Because if I hurt you, you can't hurt me. If I disarm you, so my job is I try to disarm every woman, every girl I encountered. I disarm them so that you won't have the weapons to hurt me. And let me tell you something, that was tragic. That was tragic. It was tragic, man. I mean, a lot of people have hurt because those girls, they've had children.
Yeah.
Some of them are single parents. And they've made decisions on the future by the way I treated them. And
do you know how big that is?
Give them every single day.
Do you know how big that is? What you're saying? You know what? Let me just take a pause on what you're just saying and commend you for saying it. Like, you're one of the few pastors I know that would just tell the truth about their journey. You've just basically said, I have broken lives.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. And as sad as it is, it's like, yeah. I was just about to offer some comfort, but I don't think it's always appropriate. And I guess that's sorry?
Bro, sorry. I had an ex-girlfriend who I found out became a prostitute and became an escort. And I can't help but kind of look at how I broke her. Do you know what I'm saying to you? I'm not saying I was the only one, but I'm just saying though, man, that, you know, I guess part of healing and moving on is, part of it is not just accepting what's happened and moving on, but it's also, and this is for both men and women, what part did I play in that?
Yeah.
You know, all of sin and falling. This is why grace is available. Grace is not just something that we need to preach to other people, but grace is something that we have to look in the mirror and say, you know what, man, I need some grace too because I've done some wrong. You know, Paul said it best. We are all in the same sinking ship. You know, we've all messed up, man. We've all left a trail of blood behind us.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. You might be a bishop. I don't care who you are. You see, one thing that doesn't faze me anymore is I'm not fazed by people's righteousness anymore because none is righteous. Everybody, every single one of us, we need the grace every day. It's just some people know how to hide it better. That's all, man. And we hide it behind cloaks and suits and ties and titles and degrees. Yeah. But God knows all of our hearts, man. He knows all of our mistakes, man. And the crazy thing is, still loves us.
Someone mentioned earlier, if we just go to uni, get our degrees and just do better in society, you know what? Yeah, men are doing it and they're still freaking. Men and women are still freaking.
And they're freaking on campus, man.
They're freaking on church campus. They're freaking at the convention.
They're freaking in the church back room.
Come on. And this is it. We're talking about real work. We're not talking about religious work here. We're talking about real work. You can't hide by any degree, any education, or any amount of money, any position. This is just sitting down, everybody on the same level and owning yourself, owning your weakness, being honest about it. Do you know what? It's interesting. Harkama had this comment here. I am a part of the problem. I don't know how to heal. I think it's saying I didn't know I had to heal. I was not educated on how to find love. I was maybe not in love. I chose just anyone to love. Now I have done the work. I am teaching my kids better. And that's the point of this discussion.
Thank you for treating your kids better, man.
That's the point of this discussion. So she's basically, or he is saying, it ends here.
Amen. Break that cycle, man. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Roll out here, innit? Roll out here, innit? Do you know what? Just to your point about taking accountability, just because I know sometimes women will say it's the men's fault, innit? There's a book I'm reading right now, Art of Seduction. Yeah? I love this book, Art of Seduction. It's a gracious book, that book, yeah? Because it just teaches you stuff. But what it does teach you about the Art of Seduction is that there are two players. It says not everyone can be seduced, okay? And not everyone can be a seducer.
That's right.
Right? So in order to seduce someone, they have to want to be seduced. You can't seduce everybody. Do you understand? I can't be out here seducing the queen. It's not going to work. All right?
What
So
the queen?
I can't be seducing the queen. Well, I don't have. We're not on the same basis. You know what I'm saying? Right? Someone else can though. You know what I'm saying? We saw who our man was. Listen, he had that ability to seduce her.
Yeah.
Right? So when it talks about the art of seduction, what it says is that we want to be seduced. This is it. There's someone out there that you want them to seduce you, right? You want them to lure you into the trap, okay? All right? You want them to bring you in without saying what it is, which is why oftentimes when people get into situationships where we're not sure if in a relationship or not, how it happens, because what the allure of that is, we don't want no one to say blatantly, I want you. You want the dance. You want the unspokenness of it. You want, the flirtation and the thing to happen without it being blatantly said in your face, because that helps the allure. That helps the seductiveness, the mystery, right? That's what keeps you intrigued. And whenever sometimes, and this is not every situation that happens where men are or women are being bad or whatever, but in a lot of these cases, you wanted to be seduced. So that's why you didn't look at the facts that were being presented to you. Right, you ignored it because what you were happy with was the slick flow of the red wine happening in this interaction. You liked that flow. You liked the way the person was talking to you. You liked the feeling of being desired without actually assessing whether this person desires you or desires just your body. You see what I'm saying, right? And when people slow down. And the reason why we're saying that people have to take responsibility is because, okay, listen, fantastic. We've all said it. Our first heartbreak, it all happened to us. We were naive. We didn't know, right? 2, 3, 4, 5 times, you're going to have to start looking at yourself, right? Because what you have to start to realize is if you got robbed once in a certain area, the mind will tell you, let's not go to that area again. Let's go a different route, right? Because if I keep going to that same area and I keep getting the same result, I'm the crazy one for thinking it's going to change. Right. So what I'm saying is in a lot of these situations, what happens is people want to be seduced. And that's what I said about healing is important, because what the person is seducing within you, oftentimes, okay, like I said, is what's missing. So if we haven't got fathers in the home, if we haven't got mothers in the home, if we come from a dysfunctional background, the person seducing oftentimes is targeting what you're missing. They present the energy that you've missed. And they tap into that area and begin to draw you in. And like I said, this is why introspection, being slow and really deeping who you are and taking time to actually assess what's going on and not just moving with it, right? Because I think now we're grown, we can all look back at our last relationships and say what we did wrong. And the reason why we can do that is because we're being self-reflective, we're being introspective. Yeah. And this is what everybody needs to have, right? You need to slow down, stop rushing it, and actually look at the facts being presented to me.
Yeah.
Right? I said this last time. I said the reason why someone robbed me of 5K is because I was rushing. I didn't ask enough questions. I just wanted to get the money. My focus was on that. Your focus was on a relationship. Your focus was on that one. I have daddy issues, and I don't realize I've got daddy issues, but that person's presenting as my father in energy. I love it. But then you're not really asking those deeper questions. right? So a lot of times we're being seduced, and this is why Jesus said something so powerful, right? He said, the prince of this world cometh, but he has nothing in me. Why? Because the devil is a seducer, the best of his kind, but he has nothing in Jesus. So whatever he was trying to seduce him with didn't work. This is what we're trying to get to. We want to get to a place of healed and being place of healing and being healed. So when someone comes to try and seduce us who's not for us, we can say, I appreciate it, but it's not for me.
That's so good, man.
There is a drunkenness that takes place at the early stage, and this I'm saying is just for awareness. In that, and in that, people feel like they're in love. And I would encourage you all that our perspective and concept of love often changes at various phases of relationships, right? And I would suggest that it is not love. Okay, it may be a form of emotion, which we often, I think in the Greek, we know that there are like 4 or 5 types of love, but you do not want to sleep with someone just because of how you feel about them, and you don't want to chase a relationship because of how you feel about someone. Someone mentioned up earlier, the dating phase is about data collection, and we have to be a lot more clinical about our approach to relationships so that we don't repeat cycles. And someone like me, for example, I cannot be seduced by another woman sexually. You cannot lure me because my eyes are open. Am I saying I'm Superman? No, I'm saying I cannot be seduced. Oh, you might con me out of some money, maybe, but you will not lure me into any form of relationship because my eyes are open. Because I am not in this relationship with you because of how I feel. I'm in it because I have a sense of purpose with you. Get this. This is another topic. I've heard this a couple of times. Marriage isn't about, because I love him, I love her. It is not about that. It's about purpose. I'm choosing you to live the rest of my life with. We have a purpose. Therefore, I'm going to be very intentional about every step I take. If you think like this, guys, for those of us who are quite easily emotive or easily seduced, repeating same habits, take stock of your theology and your ethics, your personal ethics, and say, am I in this because of how I feel? I would encourage you, don't allow your feelings to lead you in a relationship. Because 5 years into your marriage, you will find that love is a very different thing. Some of us, after the first year, which is where I learned my first lesson on love, after the first year, love looks different. When you get into a relationship, we run on a different fuel. I'm with my wife now, and we are with each other, yes, because we love each other, but love is defined completely differently. So I can't seduce my wife. Do you understand? I want to be with her. She wants to be with me on the basis of our purpose and the fruits that we produce.
Come on, man.
Don't run and try and get that before a lot of us are trying to get that. We haven't even put the seeds in the ground to produce fruit. This is where heartbreak happens real hard, because yes, you put your seeds in that ground, but you have no purpose, or you haven't even put them in, but you want a tree, and then you get heartbroken. Like I got a 7-year-old, and she's telling me, this is what young girls do. She's got it all planned out. I mean, I see her with her dollies planning out a wedding, you know. She's telling me how when we go to the park, after we go to the park, we're going to walk to the shop so that she can go and get her favorite magazine or chocolate or something like that. She's planned it out in her head. And when I say no, crazy disappointment. And I said it to my eldest, and she's learned this lesson. Stop selling yourself and committing to something that doesn't deserve it yet. It's not in your hand. Stop committing to things that you haven't invested in. Stop committing to things that are not going to help you. And it's hard to pull it back. And I'm telling my daughter in the park, because I know there's going to be tears, right? I know it's going to be tears. And I'm saying to her, listen, I did not promise you we were going to go and buy sweets today. But she's crying that she didn't get sweets. This is a crazy dilemma that adults pull on themselves.
Yeah.
It's a form of delusion. All right, look, Aaron 39. Go on, bro.
Bro, can I just jump on it? Can I jump in the back of that real quick?
Jump on.
It's delusion, but could it also be not from where my niece, that's my niece you're talking about, that not from where she, but as adults, is that also manipulation? Because we have this idea of a relationship in our mind.
Yeah.
That the other person clearly, one, maybe they can't give to us or won't give to us. And we go through those disappointments because in essence, if you want to break it down, a heartbreak is a disappointment. Something's broken. You're on this trajectory and something's broken. But a lot of times is because one side of the party has got this ideology that it's going to work out this way, but no one promised it. And now the reality is that this ain't happening. And I think it's that naivety that a lot of us, we had originally, and that our heart was so broken and disappointed that we came out of that and maybe became something nasty afterwards. So do you perceive that maybe some people, especially maybe let's say women, have this romantic idea of what love is and what this relationship is, but the reality is the opposite, man. Because men can tell a lie, right? Because when we talk about the art of seduction, that really feeds into the whole notion of, and I think Curtis, you were mentioning earlier, can I be seduced? Because in every single one of us, we have a trigger point. That's why when it comes to temptation, you're not tempted by what you don't want. But if you want something and the right opportunity came and the season is right and the temperature is right and everything is right, you fall to what you're tempted for.
Yeah.
So my thing is that if we have this romanticized notion of a relationship in our minds, and then someone comes and sells us a lie, because sometimes that's what it is. It's an illusion. They sell us a lie, and we fall for it because we've already conjured up this idea in our mind, and they know what we want, so they give it to us as almost like a bait, and we fall for that bait, and then we get heartbroken. My question is, whose fault is that? Just a question, something to ponder upon. Because I don't have the answer for it, but something to think about.
I think there actually is an answer, you know. The answer is actually biblical, which is it comes down to the nature of mankind and how women and men are. Genesis 3 points us to this. I use the scripture all the time where it says, women will try to manipulate and control their husbands, but the husband will rule thee. These are the baseline natures of man without Christ. Right, so those are the factors that those are the deficits that we're fighting whenever we make decisions in life, right? So the baseline for women is manipulation. The baseline for men is they try to control and rule things, right? And this is why we have Christ as Christians, because what it does, it begins to erode both lines away to say, hey, that is not your baseline anymore. You don't operate in those superpowers anymore. You know, right? But without Christ in that society, those are the two superpowers that women and men will use, right? Because men being the more dominant physical specimens will try to take. So women can't fight men on that level. They have to manipulate to be able to have some level of power within the society. So those are the baselines of nature of both men and women. And what you're finding is when we come to Christ especially, is that doesn't finish. It doesn't go away. You have to learn how to stop acting in that behavior, because both sets of parties have probably saw how effective it is to use those attributes and skills, dark arts, and for your benefit. And when you come to Christ specifically, when I'm talking about Christian coming to Christ, what you will notice the Holy Spirit will start speaking to in those areas and saying those particular set of behaviors that you have, you know what, you got to leave them at the door. Right. And you start the process and that journey of unlearning some of these behaviors that you don't even realize are behaviors. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you don't even realize it's part of that dark arts that you're doing. And then the Holy Spirit has to prompt you. For others who are not Christian, hey, listen, I believe there's always principles of God that you can learn even when you're not a Christian. As you become a mature individual who begins to be emotionally aware and intelligent, you will start to realize certain behaviors are poor, right? But still a godly principle, right? This whole world is built on God principles. Whether you're Christian or not, you still operate by godly principles. And when you see good, you see God. This is what it is, right? So I think as you were saying, PG, it's powerful. You're right. There is an aspect, and you know what, Curtis, you pointed out, which is we learn this thing as kids. Daughters learn this with their fathers. Googly eyes, putting on a soft tone voice, daddy, all that stuff. All of that stuff, they learn it when they're young, right? They know it from young. And I'm not even cussing it. I'm just saying this is how we grow up.
This is us.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, these conversations that we're having now is part of the education that we didn't get when we're younger. It's part of the conversations we had to sit outside for because our parents were saying this is for the adults, not realizing you will soon become an adult. When would you have that information? You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So this is it. This is part of that education that we're trying to have for both men and women, hopefully men too as well, so that they can understand that you don't have to stay in that control area where you have to try and control everything because you've probably been hurt in the past and you know you don't want to let no woman in, or any woman that comes in you have to try and show her that you're the boss or whatever. And you realize, listen, you're living half your life by doing that. You're not even living your full life. You know, as you both can testify, you're married. When you have to live in dark arts and trying to control things, it's not a happy marriage or a happy life. It's a very sad one.
Come on, man.
You know, so men need to hear this too.
I just wanted to give my final.
Go on.
So did you want to say something, bro? G?
Me? No. I'm just saying no, man.
I just wanted to say in my final comments, guys, do not be afraid of heartbreak.
Yeah.
It's like going to the gym and being afraid to sweat, being afraid of the pain the next day. I remember back in the day when I used to train legs, particularly legs, because men don't really like training legs, right? Mm-hmm. And if you train hard, the following 2-3 days are hell. You can't walk properly. And when I was younger, a lot younger, I used to dread that. So I didn't train so hard. I would avoid certain body parts because I was afraid of the pain. And if anyone knows, if you train legs or certain body parts, like your biceps or something like that, and you train hard, you can't move your arms properly for about a week. In the same way, at the end of that is something better. Let me encourage you, man. Do not run from pain. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is no one's enemy. And sometimes the path to something better is through pain. And so the pain of heartbreak isn't something to be run from. So, and in that basis, don't settle for something that's destructive. That's my final word.
That's beautiful.
PG, you want to give a final word?
Yeah, I guess my final word is this. I know that most people, you know, on air would have, and this is why I guess people are interested in this conversation. I've gone through some kind of heartbreak. It could be a heartbreak from a relationship, as we've been discussing tonight. It could be a heartbreak from the real loss of a loved one, you know, a family member, especially during this COVID season where everything just upside down. It could have been like you lost your business, your career, or something that's happened in your life that you've invested in. It's been a dream of yours, you've had a vision for, and now it's been displaced or it's been broken and has left you with a broken heart. I want to let you know this one. I know that not everyone on there is a Christian, and I'm not trying to force you to be a Christian. That's not my assignment or my mandate. But I do believe that Jesus heals the brokenhearted. He has a special place and a special compassion for people who go through broken heart, because it's not his desire for anybody to be in pain. So I want to encourage you, if you're dealing with a broken heart, give that to Jesus as well, man. Be on that bench, look after you, heal, allow yourself to be healed. We can't heal ourselves. Okay, that's the thing. We can't heal ourselves. Allow yourself to be healed. Sit on, lie down on that doctor's bed and doctor's table and allow yourself to be healed. Get therapy. Get my wife. She's a psychotherapist, and I understand the power of psychotherapy. And I know a lot of Black people, a lot of Christians don't like psychotherapy, but let me tell you, even for me, I have a therapist because I carry a lot of weight. I carry a lot of vision. I carry a lot of dreams, and I carry a lot of people's problems in my life. So I have to make sure I have a safe place to release that to. Enjoy life, take up a hobby, go to the gym, do something. Life is for living. Too many people kill themselves because of broken hearts.
Yes.
Way too many people. And I want to encourage you, man, that just allow yourself to be healed, man. Allow yourself, and it might take a while, it might take a week, it might take 10 years, but allow yourself. The worst thing you can do is jump into another relationship where you are acting desperate and longing and yearning, and the other person will just probably treat you the same way as well, because why? They can see from a mile of coming. All right. Or you might treat someone that way because you're trying to get back an ex and make someone else pay for your pain. No, if we're gonna fix a broken world, we can't keep breaking each other. If you're gonna break the cycle and not allow our children's children to go through this, we have to be the solution. We have to break the cycle, and we have to do whatever it takes, it takes, man. All right.
Jesus is my therapist.
Someone said in this chat, I saw it. I don't know if they took it off, bro. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw it. Someone said that the guy in yellow's got a face like a grandmother.
I saw that.
Yeah, anyone see that? I'll tell you something, man. I preach, but I don't fight like a grandmother, though, man. I'll tell you that, man. You see spies on my neck?
All right, listen. You have to for the hood. Benga's about 6'5", so let's not play.
See the size of my neck?
Let's not play. What they're basically saying is that you got a young face. That's what they're saying.
Hey, grandmother, bro. That's a young face.
You got that shine. You got that shine on the cheeks, man. You're good.
Let me tell you something, man.
Definitely.
I love Jesus, but I also love to fight. That's the crazy combination.
What's that? There's a teacher that says, "I love Jesus, but you can get these hands."
Oh, you come! Hey, I need to get that on me, man.
I'll find it for you, bro. Oh man, but no, thank you, distinguished guests and men. I appreciate you for sharing your thoughts. I think it's good to see. I think it's good for the society to see more conversations with men that are respectable conversations, because men are having conversations. There are, especially on the net. It's just not very respectful at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So we want to restore some of that balance and show people that there is hope. And there are men out there that are respectable, that can hold a conversation to see both sides and assess the problems that we're facing in society and actually bring some solutions to the table in going forward. So I appreciate you for coming through Pglondon and This Marriage UK. This won't be the last time. You know what I'm saying? Like we said last time, it won't be the last time. We come again. We have to figure out another topic. I know Kurt's got more topics, so
we're back.
Kurt's got more topics, so audience members, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Yeah, man. I can't wait for the next one. This was good. I felt good. You feel good? Feel good in there?
Well, bro, we got the phone in coming in.
29th.
29th. We got the phone in. The live phone in, guys.
Oh man.
Weekly.
That's gonna be dangerous. That's gonna be spicy, man.
Well, it's gonna be worse because you're gonna be there, bro. It's gonna be. We're gonna be slain, bro. We're gonna be slain. We're gonna be slain. You're bringing the nuggets where the cup is flowing over with what you're bringing.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I just want to say for anyone who's looking for help, if you need therapy, yes, my wife and I can help. G, I don't know if you would, and I know Kojo, you do offer that yourself, some type of support therapy. I don't know what you call it, but if you want that, we provide that. And maybe G, I think maybe we'll be involved in that. I'm just plugging you like that, bro.
My wife, she's a therapist. She's a professional therapist, but I know she's literally booked up to the and like this is a lot of people seeking therapy now. She's booked up until the end of the year, literally. But if anyone wants to have a chat, have a conversation, you can just hit me up on Instagram. That's my Instagram handle. That's on the screen at Pglondon. Hit me up and we can have a conversation. I can signpost you, and you've got these two amazing gentlemen who can also be of support, be of help. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brothers.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
We appreciate you guys, man. Audience members, it's been great, man. We'll see you again soon. We'll be back on the 29th when we have our phone in, where you can come and drop in and drop your problems that you're thinking and feeling of. You know what I'm saying? So we look forward to it. You get me? We look forward to it. You know what I'm saying? I think I've got a little flyer here. Sorry, Curtis, you had a picture, but relationship phone in on the September 29th. I know he's only got us two, but PG, you'll be dropping in as well. So we'll have us three again going at it, giving you guys some great content, man. So we look forward to it as well. So guys, stay locked, stay loaded, and we will see you again very, very soon. Appreciate it.